They've had to do it the hard way, drawn away from home at a very dangerous Bournemouth side, and they went one behind through a goal by Evan Nielsen. A brilliant penalty save by Kepa kept City out, but in the second half, Nico O'Reilly came on as a substitute, 2 assists, Haaland with the equaliser, Marmoush with the winner, and the Blues are at Wembley once again. Bournemouth 1, City 2, the Etihad Stadium South. We're on our way again. Well, let's get back to the studio. And I'm pretty sure that, was it Nicky Weaver said 2-1 to City? We'll find out, I'm sure. He's there with Paul Dickov and Natalie.
Manchester City have done it. We are through to our 7th FA Cup semi-final in a row after a brilliant second-half comeback to beat Bournemouth 2-1. I am absolutely ecstatic with that. Still joined by Paul Dickov and Nicky Weaver. How are you feeling, Paul?
Yeah, a little bit relieved, buzzing at the same time as well. I thought second half they were fantastic. Thought we played well first half, but yeah, all the way Ederson, all the way through, and subs that came on all contributed. And what a record, 7 consecutive semi-finals. You know, it's some achievement that, and especially in a season where things haven't been going that well. Keeps the season alive, although we've still got the Champions League and another visit down to the Etihad South.
Oh, I'm so thrilled, Nicky. What a second half performance from City.
Brilliant, yeah, dominated from start to finish of that second half. Unlucky to come in 1 down at half-time with a penalty miss and a few other chances missed. But yeah, everything they sort of, you know, the lack of clinicalness in the first half was evident in the second half. And yeah, got the early goal through Erling Haaland. And yeah, and I thought even at the end there, when it's 2-1, they saw the game out brilliantly. And, you know, they didn't give Bournemouth an inch and kept the ball well in the corners, got free kicks when they needed them, throw-ins. Yeah, I thought subs made a real contribution when they come on. Nico O'Reilly, fantastic. And yeah, even Jack Grealish did great towards the end. So yeah, fantastic second half performance and a great result. I'm back at Wembley.
Back at Wembley. Let's head back over now to Bournemouth, where FG and Michael Brown, I'm sure they are partying pitch side.
Manchester City on their way to Wembley again. 2-1 winners at the Vitality Stadium as our players come over to thank the away support.
Wow, fantastic second half, wonderful. Look at the celebration. This is what it means to all these supporters and the players. Bernardo Silva coming across now to give his shirt. He was sensational towards the end of that game, wasn't he? Non-stop performance from him, but we're off to Wembley, FG. Fantastic. The City fans are absolutely loving it. Really strong second half performance.
And let's take a look at Pep Guardiola over there as well, alongside his players, enjoying every moment, like every single one of them players are. It's been a tough season, but moments like this make us 2 games away from winning a trophy.
Yeah, for sure. But you look at the substitutions. Nico O'Reilly, 2 assists, fantastic. There you go. They know what the difference is. Look, fantastic from the manager, from Pep. He made the difference, didn't he? Really nice for another young player coming through this academy. Jack Grealish made a difference. Marmoush straight away. There's Pep. Anyone question, does he like going to Wembley? Does he like finals? Does he like winning? That tells you everything. He's missed it.
And there's Ederson as well at the away section, giving his shirt to the fans. But it's all about our manager Pep Guardiola, who's a fan favourite, and he always will be, especially with our travelling support. It means so much to him. We saw him so animated all throughout that. It means an awful lot to him, just like it does to our amazing supporters.
You know what, I've missed this, FG. It's not been as strong as this for a while, has it? Because we know we're within touching distance of a trophy. We know we're going to Wembley, that's for certain, but this is brilliant, isn't it? Look at the atmosphere, look at the reaction from these fans and the players. You know, it's just a brilliant, brilliant occasion to get back to this, and the players really had to dig deep there. Really, really good substitutions and a wonderful second half.
Yeah, I mean, everything today has come down to the fact that these fans have travelled so far on a Sunday afternoon. A lot of them will have work tomorrow. I met a fan earlier on who was working until 5 a.m, got on the coach, and that is what these supporters do week in, week out, and it's great to see them having a smile on their face.
Well, that's what it's about, isn't it? Because people have been saying, well, you're not winning, you're not doing so much, and it's been a while, hasn't it, that some people can have a little bit of a bit of banter at the City fans for not being right at the top, not challenging for that Premier League, etc. But we want a trophy. That's what's important, to continue what this club delivers every single season. And it's just really been a really tough game, and to come at the back of it with this type of celebration, brilliant. So yeah, go to work with smiles on the faces, FG. We're at work, we're smiling.
Well, next things I've got to do, I imagine, is buy a suit for Wembley, because every time we go to Wembley, I get laughed at by not only you, but Nat and everyone in the studio. So we're going to head back to the studio, but we'll leave you for a few seconds just to soak up our incredible away support. Manchester City are on their way to Wembley once more. From me and Michael Brown, we will see you very soon.
Loved those scenes. Thank you so much to FG and to Michael Brown. I absolutely adored seeing those scenes. The players at full time, how much it means to them, and Pep and Edison and Jack giving their shirts away. That was a lovely moment to see, Paul.
It was, and look, the away fans are the best in the country, aren't they? The travel team everywhere, through thick and thin, and fantastic for them to get a result. They'll be in their numbers, 30,000 to 40,000. I'm going down to Wembley next month, so yeah, delighted for them. But what a great performance second half. You know, me and Nicky were waxing lyrical about how good Bournemouth have been in second half. We completely dominated the game. Still can't remember Ederson having a save to make throughout it, but they started right. You know, they came out second half on the front foot, started controlling the game. Phil had his chance. Nico Riley, absolutely fantastic performance from him coming on at half time. Great ball in for Erling Haaland. And then went on and obviously won the game. It could have been more. We could have ended up winning that game 5 or 6 today quite comfortably.
They really could have. I mean, we'll break it down in detail into some of the incidents that happened in the second half in a minute. But Nick, on those scenes, how much it means to the players, how much it means to Pep. We talked before the game about what the FA Cup means. This will be our 7th straight FA Cup semi-final. That is unbelievable. It
is, and you know, we spoke about what does the FA Cup mean to, you know, the players and the manager, and I think you can see with the scenes at the end there, we know what it means to the supporters. They've paid a lot of money to travel a long way today, and I think the players and the management and all the staff went over just to show their appreciation. Obviously, a couple of the players giving shirts away there, which is great. But yeah, it shows how much respect Pep's got for the competition. He's desperate to get into the semi-final, and you know, there's a real opportunity now there. It's going to be difficult at Wembley against Nottingham Forest, but there's a real opportunity there. And yeah, great second half performance, and they thoroughly deserve the win.
So in case you didn't know, City drew Nottingham Forest in the semi-final. That happened after the game that Villa won against Preston. And the semi-finals will take place on the weekend of either the 26th or the 27th of April. So that also means that City have escaped that silly Monday night game we had with Aston Villa on the 28th. That will have to be rearranged. I hate a Monday night game. So wonderful, 26th or 27th of April against Nottingham Forest. And of course it will be at Wembley again. So let's have a look at that second half, Paul. I wrote so many notes. It was so fascinating, the second half. The first point, though, was the change that was made at half-time. So Kushinov came off, which we presume was because he was on a yellow card already, and O'Reilly came on. Now, we talked about O'Reilly before the game and about the impact that he's had in the FA Cup already, but I don't think any of us would have guessed the impact that he went on to have. 2 assists and a stat for you. The first time a Manchester City substitute has had 2 assists in a game since Ilkay Gundogan back in 2021.
Well, you know what? He was fantastic, and you consider he's come on as a left back, and he's more of a midfielder, attacking midfielder. But great confidence, great composure. You know, when he gets played the ball for Erling's goal, his first touch is fantastic, and you know, it's just the right decision. Decision making is key in it, because quite easily a lot of kids just come to grips. We would have lashed it and maybe had the shot. He's calmed himself down, showed the composure, and he's put a lovely ball in for Erling to go and score. And I think there's 2 assists today, 3 goals he's got in the competition as well. And I know we'll go and talk about the second goal in a bit, but he was just he looked so comfortable out there. He didn't look out of his place at all, and you know, I'm delighted for him, because he's had to be patient. He's like James McAtee, like the other youngsters, Rico at times, but it just shows you, if you're patient, keep doing the right things, that Pep will give you the chance, and he's got real quality about him.
I think he's slightly different to a lot of the academy players, isn't he? You know, they come out, they're not like Rico and McAtee, really technical players. He's a real physical presence as well. We've seen his header at, his 2 headers against Plymouth in the previous round. So yeah, he's got the lot really, because as Dicky said, he's generally an attacking midfielder, but shows his versatility by playing that left side and gallops up and down that wing. So yeah, he's a real asset to have in the squad.
Yeah, he really is when you put it like that. Of course, he is an attacking midfielder, slotting into that left-back position, of course, which meant that Vardiol moved over into centre-back. What was the difference, do you think, in terms of what Nico Riley brought in the second half and what Vardiol did in the first half?
Nico's Joshko's first and foremost a defender, although he is very, very good going forward. But Nico he wants to attack every time he gets the ball. You know, he's got great athleticism about him. His fitness levels are top. You know, he's 1 minute he's up putting the ball in, next minute he's back defending. I just think the whole second half performance, they started with a lot more intent. You know, as soon as the whistles went for the second half, they were at it, they were pressing. Phil had a great little run and had his shot just before we scored. So there was real intent from the start of the second half, you know. And I think Pep was probably happy at half-time because the first half performance wasn't that bad, but maybe just wanted to step the tempo up a little bit, and they done that.
There must have been some half-time team talk because, yeah, the second half, they just came out flying. So City's first goal came in the 49th minute for Erling Haaland, an assist for Nico O'Reilly. Give us a word on that goal, Nick.
Yeah, great down the left-hand side. Nico O'Reilly showed great composure. His first touch was brilliant, put him right in there. Like Dicky said, he's composed himself. He could have lashed a shot at it, could have had another touch and had a shot. But he slid it through, and you know, Erling Haaland had missed 3 sort of gilt-edged chances in the first half, and he wasn't about to miss that one at the back post there. So fantastic from Nico O'Reilly. I think that was the key to the second half forms because it happened so soon. It sort of dampened the spirits of, you know, the Bournemouth fans and the players. So yeah, that goal, getting it after 4 minutes, was really key.
Negative of the whole game, Paul. Negative of the day, of course, is that Erling Haaland went off after that. He had a clash. It looked like perhaps his knee, we're not sure, but he looked like he was in pain and he went off. So that is the only downside of the game.
Yeah, it is. Look, hopefully the big man's okay, whether it's his knee or the defender sort of got his ankle trapped a little bit.
Oh, no, it was his ankle, sorry. It was his ankle, yes.
He's twisted it.
Yeah.
And then obviously he's landed in the tarmac at the side of the pitch as well. So, you know, for Erling to come off is a slight worry because he's tough as old boots. You know, he wants to stay in the pitch, and he's obviously tried to run it off a little bit, realised he couldn't. So hopefully it's more precautionary than it is something that could keep him out. So obviously we've got 2 big league games coming up this week as well.
Yeah, Leicester on Wednesday and then of course the away game.
But Marmoush isn't a bad substitute to have to come on, is he?
And he was a cracking substitute to have today because he went on to score with his first touch of the game. Wow. And it was another assist for Nico O'Reilly. I was so impressed with the way Nico was in the calmness of him. But then the ball to Marmoush in that tight space, how well he does in that and how well he does to get the finish off. Yes, we'll go to the Goalkeepers Union in just a minute. But in terms of Marmoush's impact, first touch, Paul.
Yeah, he's a top quality player. He brings a lot of energy, whether he's playing off Erling or as a number 9. He's got really quick feet, he's got fantastic movement as well. Nico does great again, but it's, you know, in that position as a striker, it's so difficult. I know we're going to talk about the goalkeeper, but for the defenders as well, because there's no backlift in his shot. He gets his touch out his feet and he hits it so quickly that the goalkeeper's off balance. And it just shows he's so instinctive in front of goal. You know, and every time he wants to shoot, we know that as well. But no, he made a real impact when he came on because he offers something different from Erling as well. You know, he's good at coming and holding the ball up. He can dribble, and he also wants to run in behind. And when he gets in there, he smells goals all the time, and that's what I love the most about him.
I love the fact that he's settled in so quickly because sometimes January signings, they can take a little time to fit in, but I mean, none of them have. I mean, Marmoush is just slotted right back in and he's come to City doing exactly what he was doing in Germany.
Yeah. Absolutely, and obviously got his hat-trick a few weeks ago and be full of confidence still. And yeah, it was a good goal. Goalkeeper will be disappointed with it, I think. Obviously, he's got it out of his feet. He's tried to bend it in the far corner and just sort of kept it inside a bit. And once you go down here, there's a little gap there from Kepa, so he won't want to see that. It did come through the defender a bit, but Kepa will be disappointed, and you know, not to keep that out. But yeah, that was once they got 2-0 in front, you never felt, I don't know today. City, we've looked vulnerable at certain times over the season, quite often, but not today. We just, you know, once we've got 2 goals in front, we seem to, game management was brilliant, see the game out, and yeah, we felt really confident once we got that second goal. It'd have been nice to get a third, but I predicted 2-1, so I'm happy, and Dicky predicted 3-1. So yeah, fantastic result, great second half performance. Substitutes made a massive impact in the game, and yeah, well worthy of the 2-1 win in the end.
So Pep has said in his post-match interview he doesn't know about Erling Haaland yet, and he's also tongue-in-cheek said that Nico O'Reilly will start the semi-final. Nico O'Reilly's FA Cup, this, it really is. He's saying subs made an impact as well. I thought Jack Grealish made a big impact when he came on as well. Looked
really sharp and delighted for him. We all love Jack, we all want to see him on the pitch and see him doing well. But he looked really sharp. You know, he's come on some games and it's took him a little while to get up to speed when he's been on the pitch, but today he was at it. Some of his touches were fantastic. It would have been great to see him get a goal. There was a couple of times he's came inside, but Jack's an unselfish player. You know, he's just realised that his teammates in a better position. Marmoush, obviously Nico Riley, Gonzalez, Nico looked good when he came on as well, and Jack. So when you've got a top squad, you know, you need them all to perform once they get out there on the pitch, and it was pure quality today, especially second half.
Yeah, there was a moment when Jack had a great chance. I mean, throughout that second half, he was really drawing the players to him, which he does so well, freeing up space. And there was one where he was in the box and he got it to Gundo, got a ball to Gundo, and it was nervy at that moment for me, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, there were a couple of times when he could have pulled the trigger himself, but he's rolled it into Gundogan, who was whipped it with his left foot, and it was always just curling sort of towards the post and ultimately hit the post. But I think, going back to Jack Grealish, it was a perfect game for him to come on, because if you want to keep hold of the football, win fouls, draw players in, you know, he gets his body in between himself and the ball, and so he does all those things right. And yeah, I thought he helped City see the game out brilliantly. And yeah, he's had a bit of a stop-start season, but you know, he can have a huge impact, as he did today, going forward now with, you know, the last few league games and obviously an FA Cup semi-final as well. So he did really well today, Jack Grealish, when he come on.
I want to give some props as well to Mateus Nunes, because obviously at the half-time show we said that he had a difficult first 45 minutes. I mean, he did. Semenyo was running him ragged in that first 45. In the second 45, Paul, thought he looked like a completely different player.
He was in great character as well, because Semenyo's... He's been one of the best wingers in the league this year, and really difficult opponent, tricky opponent to defend against. But he didn't just defend very well, he had a real impact going forward. You know, he was really tidy on the ball, showed lots and lots of energy. And as I said, you know, for somebody that's not his natural position, he was outstanding. Look, the team were outstanding second half as well, but Mateus Nunes especially. So I actually thought he'd done all right first half. You know, it probably gets highlighted a bit more because of the ball that he's gave away for the goal. People maybe jumping his back a little bit for that, but yeah, I thought he was outstanding.
Before the game, we were rightly praising Bournemouth for the good season that they've been having and the type of football that they play. And I kind of jokingly was saying that in the run-up to this week, I'd not really heard any pundits saying that they thought City were going to win. City went out there in overall for that game, Nick, and thoroughly deserved the win. It feels like, for me, and maybe it's because I'm an emotional fan, but it feels like a statement. You know, it's like, stop writing us off.
Yeah, not unlike you touch about the game there, everyone fancied Bournemouth, and when, you know, we'd missed a couple of chances, obviously the penalty, Bournemouth take the lead, and that was their opportunity then, the next 10 or 15 minutes, where it looked like they'd sit on the ropes for a little bit and had a couple of half chances. If one of them goes in and makes it 2-0, it's a completely different game. But as it was, City weathered the storm, came through it, and yeah, you know, you always think at the end when you're winning by the odd goal, so it was 2-1 going into the final few minutes, you're thinking they're going to get some sort of chance, but City defended really well, and I can't really remember Edison having too much to do in terms of saves. So yeah, City saw the game out great, and yeah, obviously you could see how much it meant to them with the celebrations at the end.
So 2 big Premier League games coming up, but before we switch, just another moment just to talk about the fact that City are through to another semi-final. You're looking forward to it already, Paul? Love a trip to Wembley?
We all love a trip to Wembley, but great for the fans. You know, it's not been, compared to previous seasons, there's not been a lot to shout about this year. So another trip down to Wembley, another chance to get to another final as well. It's going to be a great occasion, as always.
And another tough tie. Perhaps this was the most difficult tie of this round away at Bournemouth. Nottingham Forest, who obviously beat us not long ago, sitting third in the table, having the season of their, you know, that they've had in the last 20 odd years. It's going to be a difficult draw.
It will be a difficult, but you know, you get to the semi-final of any tournament at any level, you're not going to have an easy game. And Forest will be tough. I know people will flick back to the City Ground a few weeks ago and we lost 1-0. I actually thought we played quite well that game as well. But you know, on the flip side of that, we battered them when they came to the Etihad earlier on in the season as well. So I would like to think of that game more than I would the game at the City Ground. Our experience, yet again, at Wembley, you know, not many Forest players would have been in an FA Cup semi-final, that sort of stage. So there's going to be a lot of pressure, a lot of mental stress, a lot of physical stress on them as well. So, and our lads know how to handle it. So it's going to be a really good game.
Cannot wait. So that'll be the weekend of the April the 26th or 27th against Nottingham Forest, of course, at Wembley. But before then, there's plenty of Premier League action. And in fact, we are back in the Premier League on Wednesday. That is at home, back to the Etihad, and we're taking on Leicester. Of course, Matchday Live will be here with you. Keller's in the studio with our Shawnee Wright-Phillips. And he's also joined by Rugby World Cup winner Will Greenwood, who is, I tell you, a character and a half. That is going to be a really, really fun show to watch on Wednesday. You know him?
That's little and large.
Little and larger than
by the
you.
way.
That is even more little and larger than us too.
That really is,
Yeah.
by the way.
Will's a great lad.
He is, isn't he?
He's a top guy, yeah.
Yeah, he's a proper blue as well. So that'll be a very enjoyable show for Matchday Live, and hopefully it'll be a very enjoyable game as well. Because of course, at the Etihad, Leicester have had a really difficult season, Nick.
Yeah, it's been difficult for them. Obviously, when Ruud van Nistelrooy went in, they had a little upturn in form, which often happens with a new manager, but then they've sort of sunk back to their ways, if you like, and it's going to be a real struggle for them. And I'm sure, the City faithful will let Ruud van Nistelrooy know all about his history over the road. So yeah, it's a game. Nice to be back at the Etihad after a bit of a break. Nice to be back at the Etihad after that win today. So yeah, one that we're looking forward to, and barring a real big upset, we'd like to think we're going to get the 3 points.
Of course, one of the many Paul Dickov derbies that exists, Paul. How do you feel for one of your former clubs for the season that they've had?
Yeah, look, that was always going to be tough for them. They didn't spend a lot of money in the summer. The atmosphere around the club hasn't been great this season. There's a few of the fans aren't happy with the board, vice versa. Obviously, they've sacked the manager, Ruud's come in. They're not really performing with any sort of energy at the minute, and that's the thing that's been sort of upsetting the fans the most. The teams, they seem to go under with a little bit of a whimper, without not a lot of fight as well. But it's a shame to see. Obviously, I want City to win on Wednesday night, but I had 4 fantastic years there, and it's a really good club. So you always want your old clubs to do well, but just not on Wednesday night.
Yeah, they're currently 9 points from safety in 19, same as Ipswich. Southampton, Leicester and Ipswich all looking pretty much doomed at this point. Wolves on 17 with 26 points. For Leicester, they've got the second worst defence in the league. They've conceded a lot of goals, 65 goals. Only Southampton have conceded more, and they've scored the second least number of goals. They've only scored 25 goals in 29 games this season. Nick, it's been a real tough return for them.
Yeah, it started difficult for him. Obviously, cost Steve Cooper his job, and then, like I said, Ruud van Nistelrooy come in. They won a couple on the bounce, to be fair, and then that soon went. And yeah, you sense the frustration when I've watched a couple of games on TV, and you can sense the frustration within their stadium. And yeah, it'd be almost one of the Premier League's all-time big upsets if they can manage that in the week. But I really don't see it. And it'd be nice now for City to go on a bit of a run. Obviously, we can park the FA Cup for a little bit now. We've got some big league games coming up. Make a real charge to cement that Champions League place.
Some really big games coming up. I completely agree. Get into the momentum now, get the confidence back, get a good win against Leicester before the derby, before a game against Palace and Everton, before the next FA Cup semi-final. Couldn't agree more with that, Paul. The importance now of City finishing the season strongly.
And look, historically we have done in seasons gone by. Big win, big boost today, big confidence boost today, knowing that we've got the semi-final coming up, and then knowing, winnable games, no disrespect to the teams, teams in the bottom half of the table that we've got coming up as well. So finishing the season strong, FA Cup semi-final, Champions League spaces there, that's what we do. And these players, Pep, they know that this is the business end of the season, and they know how to handle that a lot better than a lot of other teams.
We're going to hear now, this is very exciting for us, we don't usually get this, I'm very excited. We're going to hear now from Nico O'Reilly.
Nico, many congratulations on the win. How satisfying the result is that?
I mean, yeah, an amazing result. It's a tough place to come to, but yeah, just looking forward to the semi-final now at Wembley.
I mean, obviously the win itself is huge, but what do you make of our overall performance today?
Yeah, I thought we were solid throughout the game. We had chances in the first half. Obviously they went 1-0 up, and then second half we came out very strong, and then yeah.
And that was epitomised by you, Nico, when you came on. I mean, first off, what was Pep's message at half-time to you before you came onto the pitch?
He was telling me to just try and get involved as much as I can, attacking, but also be strong defensive. So yeah, that's what I tried to do, and it paid off.
I mean, every time you've been given an opportunity this season, you've made an impact, but that must be your most satisfying performance yet, is it?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think they're the toughest opposition we've came across in this competition so far. So yeah, I was just buzzing with it.
And now that's 7 successive FA Cup semi-finals that we've reached, which is an incredible record, and that speaks volumes to how important this competition is to us as a club, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It's a special competition and we're a special club, so yeah, I'm just glad we can do it again.
And obviously we know now that it's going to be Nottingham Forest in the semi-final.
Yeah.
How much are you and the guys looking forward to facing them?
Yeah, it'll be a very good game. We faced them recently, but yeah, we'll be ready for it, and hopefully we can take it to the next step.
And obviously the first game back after the international break is always a tough one, but you must take so much confidence from the way we played today.
Yeah, I mean, I think we played excellent all the way throughout the game, both attacking and defensive. We managed the game really well, so yeah, everyone's buzzing.
And finally, the games keep coming thick and fast. We've got Leicester City on Wednesday in the Premier League. That's another huge match, isn't it, in terms of the Champions League and trying to qualify for that?
Yeah, definitely. We're just trying to win every game. We'll take every game as it comes, step by step. But yeah, we'll definitely try and win it.
And as you say, how much confidence will you and the guys take from this afternoon?
Yeah, loads, because obviously we know how good Bournemouth have been all season. So yeah, we'll take loads of confidence from it and just keep going.
Brilliant. Many congratulations again, Nico, and thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate. Thanks very much.
Love that. Nico O'Reilly is buzzing because he's a proper mank. Joined the academy at under 8. Phenomenal day for the academy. A City fan for life is on Nico O'Reilly. Magic day for him. So a big week coming up as well. So of course, Matchday Live on Wednesday, Leicester, and then on Sunday it is the Derby away. I will be here in the studio. That is a 4:30 p.m. kickoff. Of course, as always, we are with you before the games, and of course, 2 games on City Plus this week as well. If you don't already have a City Plus subscription, can highly recommend it for some of the incredible content documentaries you get, but mainly for the live games. So you'll get to watch City in the Youth League this week against AZ Alkmaar, and then the under-18s taking on Wolves. So 2 big games there this week that you can watch in full on City Plus. Now, before we go as well, we just want to say that last Sunday was a momentous day for our esports team as they went back-to-back in the E-Premier League. Our duo of Tex and Matty beat Brighton over 2 legs in the grand final in London as we made history. We became the first team to win the title 3 times and the first to win it in back-to-back seasons. So we just want to say a huge congratulations to everybody in our esports team. And here's how the title was won. We'll see you on Wednesday.
An E-Premier League final, which looks exactly the same as it did 12 months ago. From the 20 Premier League clubs, it's these 2 again, as Brighton hove Albion will take on Manchester City for a chance to be this year's E-Premier League champions.
This one's hard to call.
The £100,000 E-Premier League has come down to this. Brighton hove Albion beat Manchester City, and 2.5 minutes in, Brighton and hove Albion will lead this grand final.
First blood to the Seagulls.
Blistering start.
Has Barber got the legs? Yes, he has. So it's a one-on-one. Time green. Here comes Tex again now. John-Min Son. There's one.
It's an important goal.
Victor Barbo just has to get this right.
Oh, he's on the ropes.
Oh, the turn.
Here's another chance. Trent Alexander-Arnold. One more pass. Finds Marmoush. It's a 2-goal cushion reinstated. Here's a huge chance. Lampard surely couldn't have landed any better there for Thierry Henry. And a chance to break again. Jacobs played this game so well. Barbo, what a gift, what a chance! What an opportunity this is! You can just see there in a split moment, Tex wants so much more from himself. He knows he's got so much more to give. That will do us for the halfway point in this grand final. It's not done yet.
We turn over to the PlayStation. Turn over to Matthias Bonanno.
Yep.
He knows what he needs to do. The job at hand. 2-goal deficit for Man City. If they've got any hopes of being a 3-time E-Premier League club champion, it's in Bonanno's hands.
Hang on. Matthias Bonanno now. The confidence to drop back inside. And every single person in Manchester City is on their feet.
Chris is crazy, can't breathe.
When Bonanno's back's against the wall, he always seems to perform.
More Matthias Bonanno, more Man City pressure now. Finds Fabio Carvalho, John-Min Son! Manchester City will tie up again at 4-4. This is beautiful, Matthias Bonanno! You can't stop him right now!
Left, right, good night. He's twisted and turned him inside out.
Bonanno back in front! Alongside listening, all you can do is Matthias Bonanno getting very loud.
Just needs to hold the ball.
14 game seconds away from Manchester City winning their 3rd Premier League title. We're going back to back. Manchester City have done it again. Back to back Premier League champions.
The Super Squad, the Dream Team, once again deliver on the biggest stage possible. Matthias Bonanno clutches up